Hi, my name is Joe, and I have a confession. I bite dogs when I'm sad. Good morning, my beautiful internet friends, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of how I got Sadie, Monkey, and Sophie. But before we go any further, I feel like I need to clarify via the title in case people are commenting just based on that. Two different things. First of all, I do buy dogs when I'm sad. I can't say that I've never irresponsibly brought a dog home. It's definitely been irresponsible at times, but I've always done so with the knowledge that I was going to put them first and I was gonna make sure that I found a way to take care of them. So our pets are our priority. We absolutely love them and take care of them and do everything that we can for them. And secondly, I would not recommend this as a coping strategy for anybody. It's worked for me, and I am just telling my story because, to be honest with you, I do buy dogs when I'm sad. Side note, before we dive in, I post videos on my Instagram stories basically every day of my puppies being adorable, so if you want to see adorable puppy videos, head over to my Instagram. Shameless plug. So dogs are like my heart. I absolutely love them. I have since I was a little kid. I think it was my 4th or my 5th birthday I asked for an encyclopedia of dog breeds. Don't know any normal 4-year-olds who asked for that, but that's literally what I got, and I went through it when I was a kid and I memorized all the dog breeds, and I still know like all the dog breeds. They bring me so much joy. They make life living in so many situations, and they've gotten me through a lot of really, really dark times. And I'm gonna talk about a few of those, so, you know, forewarning, I buy dogs when I'm sad, so there's gonna be a couple sad stories here. But of the 3 dogs that I have, Sadie is the first dog that I got, and she's sitting here like a dead dog next to me right now. She is my German Shepherd mix with floppy ears, and I got her when I was 20 years old. I found her on Craigslist. Side note, maybe not the safest place to find your pet, but it worked out. No one murdered me when I went to go pick her up. And the reason that I was looking for a dog is I had just gone through a lot of trauma. I've been in a very, very bad relationship. I've made a couple of videos about that. I'll link them down below. And I was in a dark place mentally. And I didn't really see a reason to make it to the end of every day for myself. But a part of me knew that I was really, really hurting and that I should probably try my best to stick around on the planet. And I thought, you know what, if something is depending on me, maybe I can make it. Maybe I can make it through. And I had no money at that time. I was going to college, I was working 3 jobs. I was not in a great situation, but I wasn't going to be around at all if I didn't do something. And so I got on Craigslist. And it's so funny, I literally like had this vision of a dog, and then I found an ad for this German Shepherd puppy. She was 7 months old and they had no picture of her, and I was like, yes, I would love to meet her. And I went and met her, and the vision that I had of like a dog was literally what she looked like floppy ears and all. Even though she's a German Shepherd, they're supposed to have like pointed ears. I saw her and I was like, yeah, that's my dog. That is 100% my dog. And so I brought her home, and she was absolutely perfect. The first day that I had her, I brought her up to my parents' house, and I was dealing with PTSD. I was super, super trigger happy and scared and just, you know, really freaked out. And the first day that I had her, she laid down on top of me when I was up at my parents' house. And I mean, this isn't great. We worked her through it through behavioral training, but she growled at my parents when they came close to me. Instantly, she bonded with me and she was super protective of me. I took her into training so like she wouldn't actually attack people because she had some issues. I had some issues too, so we worked through them together. But she was, I think, lonely. So later that spring, I was still in a really bad place. And I thought I would get her a friend. And this is a funny story to me. I always feel like it was literally fate how I got Monkey. So Monkey is this little mutt. I have no idea what she is. I'd love to get that like genetic testing done on her just to see. I think it'd be interesting. I was looking on Craigslist again. If I could go back and tell past Joe to stop looking on Craigslist for things, I think that'd be a good idea. But anyways, I was looking there and her picture came up. She needed a new home. I think her previous owner was asking $75, and that was like way out of my price range because I was broke. And so I was like, Sadie, that's not gonna be your new friend. And I took Sadie to the dog park later that day because I took Sadie to the dog park like every single day so she could run around. And I'm not kidding you at all here. This was a pretty big dog park. We have some really cool ones in Colorado Springs. And when we went to go to like the in gate, this little adorable dog came trotting up to like the fence. And Monkey's a pretty unique looking dog. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that that's the dog that I saw an ad for. I'm glad that this worked out, otherwise I would have seemed like a total creeper and a weirdo, but I followed her back to her owner and was like, hey, I don't want this to seem weird, but are you looking for a new home for her? Because I feel like I saw her picture on Craigslist And the woman was like, actually, yeah, I am. I don't have any time for her. You know, she's alone or home in a kennel for 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and that's just not right, you know? So I was like, well, I feel like this is fate. And we worked it out, so she just gave her to me once we knew that the dogs got along. And so Sadie and Monkey were best friends pretty much since the moment that they met. So I had Sadie and Monkey for a long time. They were my saviors, my best little friends. They were just amazing for me. I did everything with them. And then I got married. Brian had 2 cats, one of which I bought for him because, side note, I also buy people pets a lot, not without their consent. I just help them find animals that are great for them because I need to buy pets, but I can't keep buying pets. And so I think I satisfy that need by buying other people pets, again, with their consent. He moved in, we were married for a couple years. And then, as I've referenced in other videos, life exploded 2 years ago. Really bad things happened in our life, in my life, and I just like, mental health was in the trash can really quickly. And we went to go see a movie in the theater. And again, I was in a dark mental space, really suicidal again, and didn't know how I was gonna make it. And we went to the mall to see the movie. We got there a little bit early, and I feel so bad telling the story. I know so many people are gonna come after me, but this is just the reality of the situation, and you're welcome to hate me if that's what you need to do. So we had some time before a movie started, and there was a pet store in the mall. And I usually don't go in them at all because I hate seeing like puppies in basically fish tanks, but for whatever reason we walked in that day. I hate the conditions that they keep dogs in places like that. And I saw this German Shepherd puppy, and she was next to like 2 of her brothers and sisters. And I was like, that's my dog. That's my dog, and her name is Sophie. And I'm not even kidding, like it came to me like that. And we asked if we could, you know, see her and say hey. And the funny thing is I like darker dogs, generally speaking. Like I like the look of like black German Shepherds or whatever. And her brother and her sister were really dark. They were like really dark colored. And she was like this fluff ball of adorable, like she was just so cute, but she didn't look like that at all. But I just knew that she was mine. She was supposed to be mine. And so we met her, and God bless Brian, he is the sweetest man alive. He was like, if you need her, we'll bring her home. And that was probably the single worst financial decision I've ever made in my life, and the single best decision we've ever made. She was absolutely perfect. We were not prepared for a puppy. We were literally going to see a movie that night. Needless to say, we skipped the movie. The movie we were gonna go see was The Gift, and instead we got like a perfect gift, which I think is kind of poetic. Man, I forgot what a handful puppies were, but she was just delightful. She was awesome. And here's the thing, taking care of her took care of me because it forced me to get out of bed every day. It forced me to like move. It forced me to be responsible to something, to train something, to like really love on something. Because she's a puppy, right? She doesn't know anything. She doesn't, like my big dogs, they can take care of themselves for hours at a time. But puppies can't. They need constant attention. And that constant attention, in a lot of ways, I think saved me. Again, I would not recommend that as a coping mechanism or technique for anybody. It's really important that if you bring a dog home, an animal home of any kind, that you are prepared to be responsible for it, because that's your dog now, or that's your cat now, or whatever it is, and you've got to take care of it. But this worked out really well for me in that that's exactly what I knew I had to do, and so I did it. And in return, it really, really helped me get to a better mental place. I would have to go outside and get sunlight. I'd have to go for a walk, you know, and take her outside for brief periods of time. Raising Sophie, along with my other 2 dogs, saved me in so many ways, and I'm so grateful to her. She's an absolute gem. She's perfect. She's so smart. She learned to sit within like the 3rd time of me showing her how to do it. She can learn absolutely everything. Side note, I'd really like to teach her how to do some like cool around the house things to help me out, because she's totally a dog that could do that. Like, she's that smart. Generally, I would have gone to a shelter, or I mean, I guess past Joe would have gone on Craigslist to like rescue a dog, because I absolutely believe in adopting as often as possible. But at the same time, she was in basically a fish tank and she needed a home. And so we did buy her. I don't like supporting places like that, but I am incredibly grateful for her. She's a perfect little dog, and I'm really happy that we found her. In all of this, in my buying animals to keep me sane, something that is really important to me is that they always come first. And an example of that is my dogs went up to my parents' house, which is about 20 minutes away from where I am. They have 5 acres of land where my dogs can just run, for about 6 months after my amputation. They were supposed to be gone for like 2 or 3 weeks, right? You know, just as I was first recovering, but recovery was so much more intense, so much more difficult, like finding my balance in the house, because they're big dogs. Like they're 70, 80, and 45 pounds. They can push me over really easily. That was a much more involved process than I expected it to be. Trying to keep the house clean was absolutely exhausting, between Brian going to school and working full time and trying to take care of me and me not being super mobile, and just all of it was like, we knew we could not take good care of our dogs. He had no time to walk them, I obviously couldn't, and so instead of doing the selfish thing, which I wanted them home, I wanted them here with me. Instead of doing that, we kept them up in the forest, and my parents were so awesome to let them stay there. I brought Sadie home for like a week, and I brought Monkey home for like a week, but eventually they all three went and stayed out there until we were ready to take care of them here. So as much as my dogs take care of me and help my mental health, it's always been more important to me that I'm taking care of them, because that's my job as their puppy mom, you know? I am so glad that they're home, that they're here now, and that we've got them running around messing up the house every day. They shed so much. They just make a mess. Please send hope. So there you have it, YouTube. My confession. I buy dogs when I'm sad. Responsibly. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this video. Anytime I've ever mentioned anything about my dogs, people have gotten mad at me. Like, I made a joke once about Sadie, how she's the sweetest thing in the world, but she'll, you know, take you out if you like try to break into my house or whatever. And people got mad at me for like reinforcing stereotypes about German Shepherds being mean. I was like, no, she's like protecting me. Anyways, so I know people have really strong opinions about dogs and where you should get them and where you shouldn't get them and how exactly you should take care of them, but I have always done my absolute best to take care of them the best that I could. They've come first. When I was living alone and I just had Sadie and Monkey, I literally paid for vet bills before I paid for food for myself. I was super, super broke. You know, it's important that you take care of your pets because they take care of you. My puppies have helped me in countless ways, sincerely. Like right now, as I'm working throughout the day, if I'm having a hard time or if a migraine's setting in or whatever, I turn around and I look at their goofy little faces, you know, smiling up at me or wagging their tails or putting their ears back because they're happy to see me. And it's like a moment of just joy, no matter what's going on, no matter if I'm in pain or crying or having a hard time or whatever, they're there and they just are always happy to see me and Brian. And dogs are such a gift, such a gift. And it's funny because like they always know when I'm having a hard time. I had a horrible day on Sunday. I had a really bad migraine, and usually they're like rambunctious, they want to like do stuff in the morning, and they were completely quiet. They just laid next to me, all three of them, all morning, because like they just sensed that I wasn't okay. And anyways, I love dogs. That's really the point of this video. I love dogs, and I'm super grateful for all the things that they've done for me. Tell me about your puppies in the comment section down below. Do you have any? How did you get them? Tell me your stories. I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys so much for listening. I truly appreciate the time that you spend with me here. It means a lot to me. A huge shout out goes to all of my patrons over on Patreon. Our family is growing a lot there, and that just blows my mind and means so much to me. Sincerely, thank you guys. You keep this channel alive. You help so much. I love you guys. I'm thinking of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. Have you heard from the sky?